this way. It's like when you have a baby that was just born. No matter what that baby does, they faultless. No matter how much they mess up the bed, they faultless. Y'all ain't ready for this. No matter how much they cry, they faultless. Because you know they don't know no better. And when Jesus prayed on the cross, I'm preaching really good here. I should have taken this. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do it. He wasn't talking about them people around the cross. He's talking about you. That's why he holds you faultless. The devil's fooling you and you don't know it. And you let them make you guilty when God said, I already got that. You're already faultless. You're already righteous. You're already as you be. Stop crying about this thing. Just walk in my grace. Just receive your promise. You okay? Somebody holler, I'm good. I'm good. Somebody say, I'm good. I'm good. That's why he prayed that prayer, gentlemen, love. We've been teaching people, oh, he prayed for them souls. No. He said, I've been with these Negroes for 33 years. They're deceived. Forgive them. The same thing they tell you not going to do, they're going to do it tomorrow. That's true. That's true. Even though they don't plan to do it, it still happens because they're deceived. Am I preaching good here this morning? Yes. I want to tell you, God's already forgiven you. Yes, you're trying to do right. Yes, you're trying to make the right decision. You're trying to do all these things, but you're already forgiven. You're faultless. He has made you acceptable, Miss Vickers. Boy, I'm going to keep preaching this. I don't care when the preachers get mad at me. He already made you acceptable. God ain't judging you. Holy Spirit came to you. You was already perfected. God, glory to God. Hallelujah. I know it don't match your theology. Because you won't feel bad and feel sorry for yourself. And you won't be, oh, woe is me. And I should have never done that. And Lord, I promise you I'll never do it again until next week. Somebody say amen. Because the same thing you told yourself you'll never do again, you done fast and prayed and gave your seed. And you still did it anyway. All the honest people say amen. That's why it's so important that you accept this gift. It's called salvation. God is not blaming you. You're faultless. Somebody say I'm faultless. You're holy, unblameable, unreprovable. That means that he set you apart. He'll never blame you. He'll never punish you. And I know church folk will tell you, God punishing you because you went there. God punished you because you said that. If God punishes you, then he's a liar. Don't bother coming back to church. The bottom line is he say, he'll never punish you because you're unreprovable. He will process you. He will chasten you, but he will never punish you. Let me get back to my message. I don't know. When I get to this, I'm talking to somebody. So he said, I'm going to give unto you the keys of the kingdom. Somebody say access. Access. And whatsoever you bind on earth, remember I told you keys can either open up or lock up? Yeah. I'm teaching so good here, Holy Spirit. I love you. Whatsoever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. So I sat right here this morning, you know. Right here this morning. You know, because when you come in here and you come on the AC in the morning, it'll be hot. When you sit right here, you get all the AC, so it'll be cool right here. Somebody say that. So I sat right here this morning. I said, Lord, Holy Spirit, I need you to please explain to me what these keys are. Because I've heard so many things. I said, well, Charles, look at it this way. Are you all with me? Yes. Keys gives you access. So you now look at what gives you access to your inheritance. The thing that gives me access are promises. Wow. Yes, sir. Shanda. Preach God will, yes, sir. Revelation of the will of God concerning His promise for you. Those are the keys you need. Good God from Zion. If I'm preaching good, say amen. Let me say it again. Revelation. Blessed that thou, Simon Bar-Jonah. Flesh and blood have not revealed it to you. But my Father which is in heaven. Peter, you just got a revelation. I'm going to build my church on this foundation. On me, you, the apostle office, and the Holy Spirit. I'm going to get revelation. And then I reveal something to people that becomes a key to them. Yes. Yes. Come on, sir. Shut up. Man, I wish we would get what I'm talking about right now. I wish we'd be delivered from that church of our forefathers. I wish we'd come to the conclusion where God is not interested in how good we could be. All we want to do is go to church and talk about how we can outgood people. Everybody broke, everybody sick, everybody is frustrated, everybody is disgusted. But we can talk about how much we don't smoke cigarettes no more. Can I talk to you all here this morning? I wish we could get to another level to know that with my cigarettes I'm accepted. I have deliverance in case I need deliverance from the thing, but I'm accepted anyways. I still have my inheritance. With my bad habits, I still have it because I'm faultless. I'm unblameable. When I get in, I have access to healing. I have access to deliverance. I have access to all these things. But first of all, I got to get in, and I have these keys I can use. Are we here? He sent forth his word to heal, and that's a key. That's a promise. The word of healing is a key for me. So when I was on my hospital bed, and I believed God for my healing, and now I'm healed, I used the key. Am I preaching this good? Yes. The promises of God becomes good, the keys that we use to access the kingdom. Amen. The kingdom is the ministry of God, grace, that's within the church. First, you got to get saved. You come into church, and now you have access. You have boldness, to be frank. You have access. But what do I use? Remember I said at the beginning? How? Jesus gave me the access. But how do I access it? I have to understand that it's through promise. Good God from Zion. And the last thing we want to talk about in church is promises. We talk about Moses. We talk about Elijah. And then we talk mostly about the thing God said he forgot, sin. And I told you last week, or maybe Wednesday night, I said, something is wrong. Say with me, gentlemen, love. You got to be willing to walk alone to do this kind of ministry. Something is wrong with the church. When you have a covenant from your God whom you serve, who says that I will not remember your sin, it's written twice in this covenant. And the only thing you talk about is sin. Something is wrong with that. Amen. Something is wrong when God says to you, I've given you promises, these great and precious promises, by which you can be partakers in my divine nature, and we never talk about that. Y'all walk with me here. Something's wrong with that. It's a deception. Because what we do is we come everybody and we focus on sin and we get excited, but we never walk in promise. Here's my challenge. I keep telling you all, and I'm going to preach this anyhow. If you are not working on a promise with God and dealing with him on promise every day, you don't have fellowship with him. I am telling you, God deals with you on promise. And when you get a promise from him, when the enemy knows you received that, he turns up the heat on you. But it does not change the promise. Because God says, if you believe me, I'm going to perform it anyways. You got to be like Abraham, who against hope, believed in hope, that he become the father of many nations according to that which has been spoken. The key to all things that you and I desire is promises. You have to figure out what God said to you. And listen, man, listen. Yes, oh God, I'm high. If you love the Lord, say amen. Amen. I say some tough things to y'all sometimes. But man, hear me. If you're not going to do this, if you're not going to come focused, if you don't want to see this kingdom work, why bother? This thing works if you work it. That's true. That's true. But if you're going to come in here and just sit down, Melinda, and not hear nothing I'm saying, and not apply nothing I'm saying, yes, you're going to get frustrated. Yes. Because when times come and pressure comes, you don't know what to do. That's true. That's true. Somebody say amen. Listen, I done made up my mind. I told you before. I'm walking on with Jesus. I'm all the way in. No compromise. No, I'm all the way in. I believe God. Listen to your pastor. I'm all the way in. I ain't trying to be friendly. I ain't trying to have no friends. I'm not trying to get no assignment. I'm all the way in. I trust the plan of God in my life. If I'm not all the way in, I can't come here no more. That's true. That's true. It's too much pressure that goes with this. Yes. Oh, yes. I'll stay home. Yes. Get me a couple of Heineken. Watch the game. Somebody say amen. Hey, y'all ain't saying nothing to me. But there's a lot of things you can do. But since I believe God, somebody say I believe God. And since I know that I'm called, Gerda, with all of my issues, I know I'm called. And I know that the power of Christ is now resting on me. Might tell somebody something. The power of Christ is now resting on you. That means that God has totally accepted you. When you wake up in the morning, you are living in the power of his resurrection, which means that you're totally justified. Yes, you might get high, but you're justified. Yes, you might cuss somebody up, but you're justified. Yes, you might go through what you got to go through, but you're still justified. See, the thing is about this, if you're going to go through what you got to go through anyway, somebody say amen. You have a choice. You could go through it over here, being guilty and feeling bad and being condemned, or you could come in Christ and say, you know what, I have to go through this anyways. I might as well give God praise in the midst of it. I'm going to shout and give him praise. I'm not going to quit and feel sorry for myself. I know that I'm saved and holy, so I'm going to walk forward. If you hear me, say amen. Amen. So let me move on with this. We have these keys, though, these keys. A key gives me access, gives me authority, gives me power. Now, may I ask you a question? Are you loosing or binding? Uh-oh. See, because the word for bind means locked up as a chains.
Come on.
You know, we study sometimes. Someone say amen. So God is saying, Charles, I gave you these promises, which are right back to what we started teaching last week. I gave you words. It's up to you how you use those words. You can release your inheritance, because what you loose on earth is going to be loose in heaven. We have an inheritance, incorruptible, undefiled, that fadeth not away, reserved for us in heaven. Can I teach y'all? Everything that God gave you is already yours. Jesus made it accessible to you because he died and paid your sin there. You came into church where you have access to the kingdom.